Hello, hello. Okay, that's enough of the intro music. Hello, hi everyone. Am I visible? Am I hearable? Can you hear me? Can you see me? If you can, of course, comment section will be the best way and the best place to let me know about that. I know that we are scheduled for starting in 1 minute, but I thought, why make you wait and just play the intro song over and over again when I can just warm up myself already? So, welcome, hello, hi to our almost weekly. We missed 1 week last week, unfortunately. A lot of things happened. Very busy week, so we didn't manage to hop on the stream and update you with the news, unfortunately. But this week, I'm not by myself. I'm only making an introduction by myself because today I have not one, not two, but three special, amazing guests. I would say that the surprise element of this announcement is completely ruined by the promo materials where you saw who are the guests. But nonetheless, on this stream, we are focused on learning, on updating our knowledge about React Native and recently AI. Since Łukasz is not joining us today, I'm very sad about that. But as I said, three amazing guests. Since Łukasz is not joining us, there is nobody stopping me from devolving into complete AI madness. So yes, today's topic will be mainly focused around AI, but we will still do a small dive into what changed and what got upgraded and updated in React Native world as well. As most of you know, this stream is not scripted, not planned heavily, and not, not a lot of pre-production goes into this. Oh my God, Łukasz is in the comments. That's so sweet. But yes, unfortunately, Łukasz is very busy today, so he allowed me to just run amok and create more AI-oriented episode. With that being, and Ryan is here. Hi, Ryan. Of course, I was mainly just like talking and warming up everyone until you will show up, and since you showed up, we can slowly get it rolling. There are still a couple of people that I wish to see today in the comment section. Hopefully, I will see them. But with that being said, let me introduce our special guests. Our special guests that have amazing knowledge AI related, not only AI related, but they recently made huge progress with AI in Callstack. So, starting from my left, actually. Lech, are you ready? Great. Adding you to stage. Hello, Lech.
Hello.
First, I will get everyone on stage and then we'll start the introductions. Piotr, are you ready? Great. And Artur, are you ready? Great. Everyone is on the stage. Say hello, dear gentlemen, to everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Everyone say hello to dear gentlemen. And I will allow myself not to wait for your hellos back. But guys, starting maybe from in the order of announcement, can you please introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, and what kept you busy in Callstack for this couple of weeks? Of course, keeping in mind only public stuff.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. First of all, thank you for having me here. I'm really happy that I can tell something about the AI in current stream. But okay, I'm a physicist in general. That means probably one and only with a PhD in physics in Callstack. My current role is a senior AI engineer, and I'm working heavily on all of the AI stuff. What does it mean? That means not only development, not only supporting projects ongoing, but also inventing stuff, developing new new technologies in our Callstack incubation center, R&D center. But it is also a promotion of AI in general, internally in organization, and into our outside of our organization to our clients. So yeah, maybe that's it for the introduction. Thank you.
Nice, amazing. Piotr.
Hello, everyone. I'm Piotr. I'm working as a senior AI system engineer at Callstack. I'm also a participant of Callstack's incubator, where we are working in direction of R&D, both in terms of React Native, of course, but recently quite heavily on applying AI in different areas. I've got scientific background. In my case, I'm a PhD candidate in the topic of artificial intelligence in the field of computer science, as well as I've got plenty of scientific publications regarding natural language processing, emotion recognition, and sentiment analysis. Thank you.
Okay, so 2 out of 3 are almost PhD. And Artur, last but not the least, some of you might already know you once or or twice. Joined me on the stream. It was an amazing episode, if I remember. I mean, I do remember correctly. It was an amazing episode. I'm not sure what we talked about then, but I remember that I had a blast. So Artur, could you please introduce yourself as well?
Thank you. It's a pleasure. So hello, everyone. Yes, Kevin said you might have already known me from the last stream. From what I remember, it was about Amazon's Vega OS. Yep.
Yeah.
That was the one. Yeah, and generally speaking, I'm a senior React Native engineer at Callstack, also participating in the R&D team. So as you already know, my primary focus is React Native, typically brownfield, core contributions, etc. But also AI topics in the incubator. And this is partly related because similarly to Piotr and previously Lech, I'm also a PhD candidate, but in automation and robotics. So we have all 3 different scientific disciplines covered here. Also with a series of publications in typically, of course, robotics, but also neural networks applied to control, robot perception, and decision support systems.
I gotta be honest, that's the least qualified I've ever felt on the stream.
No worries, Kevin.
Usually I describe myself as a silly sausage, not even close to a PhD level, interested in plenty of things, but not smart enough to actually get any professional degree. So I'm very happy to have such. I even lack the words. I want to say mind-heavy guests, but I'm not sure if that's a proper compliment to put on. But I feel like this will be a very interesting talk, because to also introduce people to a small agenda-ish for today, we'll start as usual with covering the news, especially because one of the newsletters was, the 1 week ago, which we didn't get to cover. Jan Jaworski, our own Jan Jaworski from Callstack, was a co-creator of that newsletter, which I'm very excited to take a peek at that. And then in the second part of the stream, we will dive deeper into what you guys have been working on this past 2, 3, or even more weeks, which is not only this time just a library which is open sourced and will be tremendously useful for the community, but also I think that this is the first time we ever, as incubator or as Callstack, we have a paper, prefer like a normal, proper white paper to back up the science behind the library that you guys created, which is amazing. And I'm very excited to dive into that. But Before we do that, of course, let's take a peek on this week in React. Usually we start with code challenge or coding challenge, but I feel very inadequate today. So I feel like the code challenge will be just taken out very quickly. So let me change the screen to get to the screen sharing section. Screen sharing section, window share. Great. Can everyone see the screen sharing?
We do.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So last week, Jan Jaworski was co-creating the newsletter together with Sebastian. I think it was his debut, and he started to help out Sebastian with the newsletters. So I'm very curious about what Jan brought to the table. As I mentioned at the beginning, we'll skim through. If you guys will see anything that pops out and you will feel like, oh, I will definitely want to talk about that, then let's jump on the topic. But until then, we have quite a bit of tweets. Vibe. Okay, let's take a peek on. Actually, sorry, yes, first topic, but I feel like it's kind of related to the guests today. So Vibe hacking Cloudflare's Vibe coded Next.js replacement. Can you tell me anything more about the recent? Because I feel like a lot of people talked about that, about Cloudflare replacing Next.js by Vibe coding the replacement. Do you guys know anything about that?
Yeah, I heard something that basically using the concept of Next.js, they spin up AI assistant, put the requirements there, and it produced a whole framework out of the box.
And without any, okay, so like entire thing got just vibed basically.
Mm-hmm.
It does not seem safe at all, and it came from Cloudflare, right? Didn't Cloudflare had recently also some security issues would be the way to call it, I guess, or recent denial of service.
Yeah, there was some downtime.
Yeah, the downtime. Sorry, the downtime. So the amounts. Okay, so Vibe. This is so crazy. This is the first time I see this term Vibe hacking, but some time ago, I hopped on a call with Piotr, and Piotr presented to me the Claude code. So basically, something like cursor assistant, but available from the terminal. So you are not limited by the project you are opening with your IDE. Wherever you are with your terminal, your agent can have access to that and to the tools you have inside your terminal. So this actually got me thinking. Some time ago, I got from Jan a pretty nifty tool I still didn't started using, which is this little box, the Raspberry Pi. And I, because of my ADHD, thinking about learning how to even connect to this little box made my head spin. So now that I spoke with Piotr, he basically told me that I can just spin up Claude code and ask him, connect to the box that is connected to the PC, like do that. So this should be possible, right?
Yeah.
If you give it access to the terminal, yeah.
So now, sorry, I made a mess in my drawer by taking this out. So now this got me thinking, what is actually the limit now or what stops anyone from, as the title says, vibe hacking stuff? Because now I can basically say, okay, treating you as specialists, I'm gonna ask a very noobish question. What stops me from hacking every follower I have on Twitter by just asking Cloud Code, yo, this is my terminal, hack 'em?
Yeah, actually, Kevin, it's a quite nice catch. That means maybe first of all, each tool currently, that means each CLI and agent framework you're using, like Codex or something else, or I don't know, Claude. Then from default perspective, they just try to stay as safe. That means you cannot do everything what the agent can on a computer. That means all tools are by default not blocked, but needs a permission. So in that terms, first of all, the tools need the permissions to do everything on the computer. That this is first, let's say, firewall. But as you probably know, it is doable to open some kind of, I don't know, application, web application, and try to test out how to hack it through the tools you have locally. If you just open your permissions and grant access to it, everything can happen. And even though you already have like pre-designed prompts to test out the security of the applications. This is a common practice right now. But every actually application over internet or over network have some security constraints, policies, and so on. That means for now it's not that easy to crack it and hack it. For simple reasons, we have keys, API keys, and so on.
I mean, yeah, assuming
really
that
to crack it down,
like removing the obvious like security defenses that everyone around me have. People used to be called script kiddies because they were the hackers. Sorry, whenever I talk about hackers, I'm always afraid to like use this because even script kiddie can hack me potentially, right? So I'm always afraid to put any bad word on hackers. But people were used to be called script kiddies because they were just copying scripts, running them without any particular knowledge about what it will do or how it will behave. They just wanted to hack someone by copy paste, basically. So now, from those script kiddies, we can have people who can just give access to their machine to AI, and the AI will perform hacking for them, right? And of course, you mentioned there are guardrails, but I mean, I can just say, yo, I'm a white hat. I'm a white hat, and this is test environment.
Yeah, Kevin, that's a good point. Guardrails and model alignments, those are very good in case they work. Recently, we had an incident. Quite, I would say, with huge impact for people in Mexico, where after the release of fresh Opus 4.6, we've got a situation that one guy told Opus that he's doing security review, or he's taking part in some sort of a security hackathon, and basically got almost 200 gigabytes of citizen data from the government of Mexico. So it is crazy.
Wow.
And that only shows that everything in theory, should work and prevent from such situations. But in the very first days of generative AI and LLMs, we've got plenty of situations where people were asking ChatGPT questions they shouldn't probably be asking it at all. And of course, we went quite a long road regarding preventing such situations. And right now, we've got even a very small and very efficient models that are basically guard models before the correct huge one that prevents people from injecting malicious content, doing some sort of attacks like prompt injection, even they are removing PII, so personal identification information from the input of the model as well as from the output of a huge model. So that's also quite a big topic. So,
but still, sorry to interrupt you, but even with those security measures, I feel like I bet all of you know the proverb, "A lie said 1,000 times becomes the truth." And I feel like with current architecture of LLMs, it's very much like applies as a fact. Recently, I've learned that it improves performance of the model if you will say your request twice, because when the weights are calculated in the first run, it doesn't fully understand the context because it only predicts the future output. So basically, I like to imagine LLMs as like, this void with this thing in the middle. There are just word clouds everywhere around. And when you say something, it like pushes this understanding in one way or another. So in theory, if I would say a lie 1,000 times, it would make it, like with current architecture, more and more susceptible to believing or to like start generating and treating what I said as a fact. So I kind of wanted
there's if I may interrupt, there's no understanding of what you're saying, right? These are autoregressive models, so they predict the next tokens based on what you tell them, and basically if you coerce them to something you are stating as a fact, then most likely, because this is probably the contents of the dataset, I would guess they may be trained on, they would just repeat it, right? Because that's the normal behavior in a typical conversation.
Yeah, sorry, but I have also one remark regarding the security part, because I don't think the models itself or neural networks are the reason why we are not secure. I think the control of the tools is more like a problem, because, for example, you can have like guardrails and so on, but even though you have a policy that you can use any tool in your database and they can do it and check and even swipe and delete all of the database there, then you're screwed. That means it's more like a configurational problem. Why I'm just mentioning it, because like a couple of days ago, I just trying to find out some kind of great open source models which are already on the market, and you can just look at them and even do some research locally if you have infrastructure. And I just realized that, for example, the models with the 120 billion parameters are really capable. And what is the difference between the API models already deployed from these big players on a cloud or somewhere on their infrastructure? What is the difference? And main difference currently is the tool usage. That means the capabilities to scrub the internet, to RAG, to retrieval augmented generation, to retrieve the data from the scrub web pages or the knowledge sources. And this is something which is let's say thing we cannot achieve with our, let's say, local simple approach, because you need to build around the huge ecosystems. And model itself, it's not a problem. This is my
Yeah,
opinion.
that's correct. I would partly agree. For instance, if you take a look at Gemini, I think it has, which is pretty obvious, the best integration with the search engine because it's owned by Google. The deep research feature with researching materials on the internet, giving proper citations to the pages it found, linking the resources it used to produce the output. It's pretty. I mean, it's of course it doesn't replace the human in the loop, but it's pretty comfortable for us to look for information this way. If you want to, let's say, browse many pages and look at the contents of them, that's the fastest way you can do a preliminary search.
Yeah. What is one more thing? Maybe I will add to it. All of the current modern systems already have a scrapping tools. That means you can scrap and capture all of the information from the web, even though if you want to make a copy of some kind of product there. But those tools are really powerful, and models itself do not have that kind of capabilities. Of course, you can create a code, but how to make that code works in your environment, it's a different story. How to make it executable under your environment.
It makes sense, but so what the main thing I got from all of that is there are two basically problems if I would like to hack NASA. First, guardrails and guardrails for guardrails and a lot of that. Second, permissions. And third, I'd say, which is the saddest one, the money. And it kind of sounds like there is this currently, I would even call it a battle brewing. And not to dive into political talk, I don't mean those battles. I mean the battle between the US government and Anthropic. Because if I heard and learned recently, Anthropic is pushing back against US Army getting access to Anthropic's models without any guardrails, which would, from those three, remove, it would the only limit would be the money, how much money you are willing to spend for the tokens, because you can generate everything, you can get access to everything. So yeah, it's kind of scary because. And sorry, Lech, that I started kind of smiling and laughing when you started talking, but I only did that because your entire argument sounds so similar to the arguments of people who are pro-gun. So it's basically, it's not the guns that are bad. We shouldn't ban the guns. It's the people that have the problem.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Like it sounds so similar. So and
it's a really curious topic, because you can say exactly the same about the nuclear energy. That means in one way you can produce electricity, in other way you can just do something bad.
Yeah. So as usual, it's the case of the people. So is the AI bad in this case because it can generate deep fakes and stuff like that, or are the people bad because they ask AI to generate some specific context of a deep fake? So yeah, I guess that the main the main problem always dives into AI should be regulated a long time ago. It still didn't happen. But sorry, I believe I prefaced the stream by saying Łukasz is not here, so there is nobody stopping me from. Yeah, usually Łukasz at this point is presenting the screen saying "old man yelling at clouds," but I decided that maybe the previous screen was not like good for what we have here. Here is a well, maybe you know what? I'll get back to that. Let's continue the scroll. I will be looking for more AI-related topics, but to bring everyone up to speed, we've talked plenty already about Expo SDK 55, about the new architecture, the activity. It was talked through so many times already. So I'm sorry for skipping it.
But this is actually a topic of our concern as well. For instance, the new release of Expo changes their internals in the entry points. So that means, for instance, our brownfield library that allows you to integrate coexisting native applications with React Native applications together also has to adjust for it. I'm actually working on this currently.
On integration with Expo 55?
Yep. We have the brownfield library has an Expo config plugin that automates integration of brownfield during continuous native generation phase.
I have such a love-hate relationship with Expo because I love Expo. But for instance, today I was working on adding this like component that you can select an image and then you can crop it, publish it, and they have a bug that the top bar to press the crop or back, it's grayed out. It looks like it's behind the shadow, something like that. And they did fix it. But in release for 55. So now, if I want to get rid of that one single annoying issue that happens only on Android, only on white theme, I can't get rid of it without bumping entire Expo to 55. And I had a situation like that so many times already, where Expo basically blocks me from getting fixes until I will update entire structure. And it's a little bit annoying and a little bit, just annoying, I guess. But I guess it's their right for providing me with stability and plenty of tools to use every day. So I guess it's a fair share. And
maybe it wasn't a bug; it was just grayed out because you were doing something inappropriate in the application, and the guard rail blocked you.
No, I went to I found the issue, the exact issue that mentioned that this got fixed, but in different release. But look at that. You can now try out new AI skills to help you with the up. Oh, okay. We tried that with Janek. It went very poorly. But to be completely fair, we tried that with Beta, with like the canary. But still, it went poorly, and I think I even crashed my cursor. So yeah.
Maybe you also had a more complex case. I've tried it, actually implemented it in our React Native AI package. I added the skills, and even at the first attempt, I think the agent was able to implement a tab with free providers, with MLC, with Apple Intelligence, and I think with Llama RN, and yeah, it worked really well.
Oh, small side question, guys. What phones are you operating on a daily basis?
Oh, I have a Fold with foldable display.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Samsung as well.
Oh, okay.
iPhone for me.
Okay, yeah, I was curious because I kind of want to be persuaded because I still have my iPhone 13 Pro, which I love. But the only reason I would be willing to maybe upgrade is to play around with Apple Intelligence, because with even our package, React Native AI, you are able to get access to the models that are on device. So did Android as well as Apple start adding some smaller LLMs shipped with the device, or is it not happening yet?
Oh, yeah, actually we have an NPUs. That means each modern device also with Android, for example, Samsung, have a neural processing unit. That means you can just run neural networks directly on that chip. and this is dedicated space for it. But of course, there's a Bixby and a full ecosystem there. But from my experience, currently things with the Apple foundational models, it works just perfectly. When we are just to try to test out some apps and some local implementations, local LLM implementations on a phone, it works just perfectly with the Apple ecosystem. But on the Samsung, not that well. But currently, it is one curiosity. I'm currently working on the some kind of project that I just deployed already neural network for the diffusion models. That means to generate locally the images for the, let's say, future hyper user experiences. And this is really nice if you are just curious about it. It's a really nice trend upcoming to the market. That means local generation of the pictures, of the designs, not even the code and the text. That means it still requires a lot of computational power, and it doesn't work so fast, but it is possible to achieve like latency at the level of 1 second, and this is probably enough to build some kind of new applications.
Oh, that most probably I'll get back to that topic with you as well on the DMs, because I'm very excited about stable diffusion. I believe I was the first person in Callstack that was doing presentations about stable diffusion and playing around with automatic 1-1-1-1. So I will be asking you a lot about that. We have one also question from Muhammad. Expo or CLI? And I believe it was a question about maybe about AI tooling. Oh, yeah, the AI tooling for CLI. Okay. Okay, Muhammad, I'm gonna ask you for more precision with the question. What is the question about? And in the meanwhile, yeah, what I presented here is the CPU, GPU, and NPU. Honestly, I feel kind of silly because I've never Googled like what an NPU is. I know it's neural processing unit, and I know that phones are packed with those now. And now seeing the of course simplified architecture of this, it makes sense.
Honestly, it's really simple. That means that NPUs mimic the current digital architectures of neural networks. That means that people just realize, hey, we have digital representation of neural networks. Let's maybe try to do it physically. And this is it. That means if you are already working or know in some way, or you just learn how the neural network looks like, then this is exactly the same, but realized physically on a chip. That means someone just do a gates in the proper way, and all of the connections in the way how the digital neural networks are.
So
I remember,
yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
No,
go ahead. So basically, if you have a model, and it not necessarily needs to be an LLM. It can be any type of neural network.
Yeah, exactly.
You realize the computations underneath using matrices. That's because you can vectorize the calculations, and this is why GPUs and NPUs allow you to get a better performance. Because in CPUs, you typically have 16, maybe 32 cores on a desktop machine or a laptop. In phones, typically less, so you can parallelize up to 12 times the processing you are doing. In GPUs, you will have thousands of these cores. They will be, their frequency won't be as high as on CPUs, but that doesn't matter because you can parallelize very simple tasks, that is multiplication, summing up the numbers into these thousands of cores. And you get a 1,000 times boost, right? Tops. And this is what you do on GPUs. But the problem with GPUs is they weren't primarily designed to do that. They were for gamers, right? So while there are abstractions and library functions that allow you to, for instance, boost matrix multiplication, which is the basis of how neural networks work, and the time complexity is usually n to the third, so that's quite a boost. You can parallelize this compared to a CPU. But they lack support for some more sophisticated or complex operations that you can do. You can of course perform them, but you won't be able to squeeze every single optimization out of them. And that's
I would
where
say
NPUs
that
come into play.
with my very childish understanding of AI, I would say that looking at the simplified architecture, I can clearly see like inputs here for each like layer, which allows you to make it in parallel a lot of calculations. But still, after it's outputted, I need to basically change the function and then reprocess it for another layer with maybe a different calculations, different activation functions and stuff like that. But seeing the NPU, I think I've heard about NPUs quite a long time ago, and I got excited because it basically means I assume that there are plenty of surveillance cameras with NPUs inside them, right? Because you can basically attach a face recognition model onto that camera then, and it's being processed through NPU. So it saves up the power, speeds up the processing and stuff like that, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So for people who might not understand the correlation, but I assume like most people get that. But let me quickly yoink this. So this is the neural network, right? The simplified example of neural network. So as you can see, if we flip it, it looks exactly like NPU. So now we can just take it neuron by neuron and just plug them into the processing. Amazing stuff. So what is the TPU?
So it's a tensor processing unit. So that's something even more powerful. But this type of unit is very powerful, very expensive, and usually you don't want it unless you're building a server room.
Okay.
Processing tensors, that means there's another dimension on a chip. That means more dimensions in the depth to process and do operations on the tensors, because it's really complicated. That means, for example, if you have a vector in 3 or 4 dimensions, that means the vector plus time each direction, and then when you have tensor, we can have millions of coordinates. Then it started to be tough to even just think about it, and TPUs just solve the problem with the higher dimensity. That's why it's so expensive too.
Okay. And the first time I heard about TPUs was when I was using Google Python environments. Yeah.
You have a TensorFlow, which is well-known library for machine learning.
Okay, going slowly a little bit back to...
And just one more thing, because you said you are considering a new iPhone. Do you have the Pro version?
Yeah, 13 Pro.
Okay. So you already know you have a LiDAR most likely on it, right? Because some of the Pro models... My dear
man, one of my biggest hobbies is, and I will do a very noobish thing of just putting the phone to the camera. But one of my favorite things to do is doing photogrammetry scans. I love doing that. Yeah. This is the ice.
So cool.
This is the ice I scanned when we went to see Baltic Sea that got frozen.
I was actually surprised the first time I heard that Apple actually equips those devices with LiDARs. That's really cool. So unfortunately, my catch didn't work for you because you were already caught by it. But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that was the reason why I switched to iPhones from Androids, because of the LiDAR. And iPhones actually had LiDAR for quite a bit for face detection. I mean, so that's why you couldn't fake out and
because it has
put a picture. Exactly. And also very primitive applications for iPhone allowed you to photo scan as well, but with the front-facing camera. And they have a LiDAR to allow you, for instance, to do post-processing of the picture after you take the picture to change the depth, because they save all of the depth data with the LiDAR. Sorry, that's... That's the ADHD speaking. A lot of interests and too little time. And hello, Dennis. It's always super fun when people are actually saying hi, because when people are saying hi, it feels like they, participating in the conversation. And when they don't say hi, just watch. It's still fun. It's still great, but it's like, being observed by a bunch of silent people, which is sometimes scary. But yeah, continuing, Vision Camera 5. And I'm honestly not doing that on purpose. I just like AI-related topics. Just talk to me when Łukasz is not around. There is new brownfield updates. Yeah, as I said, I wanted to kind of scheme because I'm so eager to jump into AI topics. And I wanted to really shout out Jan and like officially congratulate him on becoming part of This Week in React. And he is the great person to do that, because so many times when we were about to start the stream, I was asking him, yo, what can we talk about? Are there any hot topics? And he usually gave me a huge list. So yeah, congrats, Jan, on that. And with this, let me first check quickly the state of React Native. Am I right to say that this is the huge survey they did with... Okay, you know what? I will save this week in React for next week. There are Astro 6, so maybe Shimon will join us. He's pretty good with Astro. And I will do that because, first of all, because I can. Second of all, I feel like this will be a great introduction to our main topic for today. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, totally agreed.
So first, developer back. Did you also fill out the survey?
No.
Yep, me, yes.
I think I did as well. Okay, so what was your background before you? How many people? What's the ratio? What is the test scope? There is no information about that. Alexander, great job, but I have 3 PhDs on the call with me, and it would be nice to have data about how many people responded. Okay, now I feel silly. 1,000. I found 1,500 people, which is completion rate. So not everyone completed. Yeah, for people who couldn't focus enough. But 800 with React developer background, that's me as well. These front-end developers, so I assume Vue, Angular, yeah. And a lot of DevOps, unmatched answers. I wish we could see those. Some time ago, I had this amazing realization that people were afraid that, for instance, with React becoming so big, it's gonna take over so many languages and those languages will not be useful anymore. But what I realized is that now you have tools that are becoming, standard tools for plenty of things React and React Native related. And those tools are written, for instance, in Rust, or maybe in Go, or in any other language. So it's kind of funny that React and React Native became bigger than just JavaScript, and it started to employ other languages for toolings for itself, which is a very, very cool thing to do, because now you don't have to learn JavaScript to become a developer. You can learn other languages and still be very needed by the community. I'm not surprised by that answer. Plenty of people who answered were from professional developers.
But it's also nice to see students and hobbyists, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of surprised by that. I thought that there would be much more students.
Yeah, maybe.
But Yeah, I feel like at least on my in my high school, university, on my university, we were learning like old school.
Maybe they
Java.
were studying for exams and hobbyists had time. That's why they filled out the survey.
Oh, fair enough. Of course, Mac OS, I can't imagine working with Windows or Linux with React Native.
With Linux, I would argue. I would imagine. With Windows, yeah. I mean, I still did it, I don't know, 2 years ago. Of course, parallelly to Mac OS, but yeah, it's no comparison between those.
Yeah.
But Linux, you can do it clearly.
I'm super curious about these 4 people. Like, what were they using? Yeah, I'm a React Native developer.
Embedded systems. Watch OS.
Yeah. I develop on my fridge.
I mean, there is Termux for Android. You can run pretty much things inside. Node.js, it's totally possible. I did it once, but React Native, I can't imagine.
Oh wow! So a lot of people write apps for themselves. Quite a lot. Okay, that's a surprising distribution. And then still, I'm so curious about the unmatched data. Data for a free-form text field showed. Oh, there's export data. Nope. Nah.
It's just the stats.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's interesting because there is only what option? I mean, I think these buckets cover all the possibilities, right? Yeah, it's actually continuous from 2 to 1 million and above. So I'm curious what they answered there.
What? Eli said, imagine logging into your computer and writing React Native. I don't know why it's funny to me, because yeah. Recently, the funniest tweet I saw was, vibe coders are so cooked. I just wrote a script by hand. A lot of solo devs. Not surprised by that. Android, iOS, web, and the list goes on.
So Android is winning there.
Yeah, and Android
not by much, but
winning,
still.
Yeah. So can you please now explain to me why is still Android not a first-class citizen when it comes to libraries and stuff like that, when there are so many people developing for Android? I don't get it.
Do you have any specific examples?
Yes. Widgets libraries.
Okay.
Usually, like whenever I see a nice, cool library, I go into description and they usually say, "Oh, for now we are supporting just iOS." And to be fair, to be completely transparent, I tried writing libraries for both platforms, and Android does not make it simple, does not make it nice. It's like it's fighting with you not to get the library. So I do get that partially, but still, with that huge advantage in Android developers, one could assume that Android would be their first choice to, I mean,
maybe
guys,
it was a business decision that made iOS
a lot of solo developers.
Okay.
And if you have a business decision, well, then you have a bunch of people who create apps for Android. And from what I heard, Android actually, even in USA, has a majority.
Interesting.
So, and I feel like Android is starting to have this, at least in my limited, opinion, I feel like Android is becoming a new iOS in terms of a privileged phone. Like, I'm not a sheep.
Yeah, that's correct. That's actually correct hardware-wise. But also, I have a different perspective on this because yeah, I was coding for Android and iOS simultaneously for most of the time, but yeah, in general, I always preferred as a programmer, of course, and as a user of a phone personally as well, Android. And well, one particular example of why I would mention is compilation. So the tools that you are given. I don't like, being locked in some vendor specific stuff. And if you take a look at how Xcode and Xcode build are organized, you have a million of flags that are meaningless for Xcode build. You will never know what they actually mean. It's hard to use it from the CLI because it was oriented to be used from the GUI, from Xcode directly. And I don't like the lock-in that I have to do it all manually in Xcode. Whereas I do like that in Android, everything is configurable. You have, standard tools. For instance, if you want to mix C++ in, you just use CMake, which is standard. I like the freedom there.
Freedom of Android.
Yeah, so the freedom, I mean, the choice of well-known open tools, not some proprietary ones, and that everything is standardized. You don't need to do it from the GUI. You don't need to know the specific flags. You just do it as you would normally do in, I don't know, native C++ development or any other technology.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, to like give one pin into Apple. I really hate Apple's documentation for Swift. I feel like this is the most, like the nicest looking, the most polished, the shiniest garbage bin I've seen. It's impossible to find anything there. Whenever I open iOS, like Swift documentation, it looks so professional, so like UX heavy, and I instantly think, oh, it's gonna be a breeze. I will find what I need in 10 seconds, and then turns out that the thing I needed the most was like written with fine print in some weird box in some, like in by the way section. You might want to read that as well.
Yeah, agreed.
It drives me crazy.
Apart from that, you sometimes have the cases like configuration of properties in your Xcode projects. I don't remember the specific API, but once I was using something and there was for sure a default value that was not documented anywhere. So you could just guess about what is the default behavior if you don't specify it at all. And it was never mentioned, only on the forums.
A lot of finance. Well, I would say the spread is kind of. So what is this? The least amount in. Okay, human resources. Okay, HR does not like React Native. And legal, and parenting, and gambling. Okay. Oh no, sorry. It's what people are used. So yeah, finance, fit. Yeah, makes sense. Education, entertainment, lifestyle. Yeah. Okay.
Or maybe the conclusion is not that they don't like, but maybe just people from those sectors did not like to participate in the survey.
Makes sense. But in the same time, I feel like with gambling apps, I don't know. I'm kind of surprised at although it seems like the spread, it's a normal spread, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you rearrange that, it's a nice normal spread with the biggest chunk being in finance, which makes sense, I guess.
Makes sense, yeah, on populations.
Oh wow, there are so many sections. We won't go through all of the sections, but I guess that reanimated, of course.
And where is animated? Is it the second one? It was the second, I think.
Animated. Oh no, sorry, that's not that.
Yeah, that one, the first one, the dark blue.
This? Oh, animated API.
This one.
Yeah, second.
It's the second one. Yeah.
And you can see that I assume that around here maybe it was release of the new API and people switched.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Reanimated. I'm a huge fan of Reanimated. One thing I would wish to learn other than Reanimated is Skia.
Yes, Skia is actually very cool. And you can plug them in together. You can control some properties from Animated.
Oh, that sounds nice. And since they released the, like now you can basically control the animations through like memoized variables that trigger CSS transitions. Performance improved so much because you don't have to rely on the shared values, and shared values usually degrade performance very heavily. But I just wanted to like quickly, cheekily check that.
One category that interested me was component libraries. So if you're looking for inspiration, we can go there.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to check. Yes.
Yes, that's great.
React Native paper.
But personally, I love it. And it was actually the first time I heard about Callstack. It was very early. This was through React Native paper.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have couple of I believe I made the action button, the floating action button. It's a my component.
Thank you.
Yes, very, very proud of that. But I guess you can see that the further we go, people are starting to use component libraries less and less. I wonder why, actually. I get that on React side because, well, Shad CN, right? That's the shit. That's just so good. But yeah, that's okay. You know what? I guess that it might be because some time ago there was a much bigger push on everything looking like Material UI, and now it's kind of devolved into different guidelines, different style guides,
tailored for the product.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe that's the reason, but still, I feel like the paper is a great like baseline to start off with. What are the second elements? I think I tried that.
Also, we've got here different dimensions, as you can see: usage, awareness, interest. Yeah.
More people know about paper. Okay,
interesting.
Yeah, Tamagui and Glue. That's the first time I hear about Gluestack. Reusables. I've never heard about that.
Oh yeah, that's probably new, right? It has only one time point.
Yeah. So it's fresh, very fresh, which makes sense that it's kind of high starting. Proportion of positive sentiment among. Okay. So it looks like people start stopping to like any library. But Tamagui, dang, that's a heavy drop. What happened here with Tamagui? It looks like between those years. Or the positivity. Okay, but positivity goes down, I bet, everywhere now, so it makes sense. Resource, opinions, conclusions.
I'm kind of interested in platform APIs, considering the topic that we touched.
Okay. What APIs do you use in your React Native apps? Mostly camera.
Makes sense. It's the probably most capable and easiest to use sensor of the phone.
Although, kind of surprised that not what?
Light and dark.
No way, it's not higher than camera. Wow. Okay, I'm consider me shocked. Web view. Okay, yeah, all of those I used. Maps, in-app payments, local video playback. Not a lot. Bluetooth.
Let's take a look at the least actually popular ones. That would be probably the most specific.
AR. It's gonna be popping up, I guess. On-device AI.
Yeah, that certainly will go up. GPU processing, ML.
Yeah, this section will be going up and up in upcoming
What's interesting
years.
is, could you hover on ML? I'm interested in whether it's ML without deep learning or both.
Pre-trained.
OCR, face detection. Okay, so I see that it also includes AI. Okay, so it's all in one.
Yeah, it's like overall just ML.
Yeah.
But AI is here.
Interesting. But that's on device. I mean, ML. Yeah. That's actually a good question.
It's only
Why
about
is it separated?
because it's only about native capabilities.
But then face detection and what was that, OCR? Does this mean that it's not on device but cloud? Because on device AI is separately, or is it just a subcategory? But then why does ML include AI?
It doesn't. Where you see AI? But there is no AI here.
I wouldn't be so sure. I mean, face detection maybe, but OCR,
optical character.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine without AI.
Oh, here is generative AI.
Okay, so maybe it's just both are. I don't remember if this was an exclusive question or you could just pick them all. I think also maybe since it probably is non-exclusive, that means they should sum up to the ML thing, unless people didn't mark ML.
I honestly don't remember how it was performed.
Yeah.
The thing, but guys, I'm very excited. Would you like to share the screen, or would you like me to share the screen? And who would like to share the screen? Because, ladies and gentlemen, let me announce the topic. I mean, you saw the topic because you saw the promotional thingies. So guys, what did you create and what we'll be talking about?
Yeah, something really cool. I think I'm not able probably to share the paper or something, but maybe I will start with a story behind it because I think it's really curious. A couple of weeks ago, Mike, our CDO in Callstack, just write a message and ask, "Hey guys, I just thinking about hackathon. What do you think to just come to an office and do some kind of crunch, take some pizza, drink some water, and do something great?" And I look at the message and say, "Yeah, okay, why not?" So he just bring us together to an office, close up us there, show us a plan, and say, "Hey, look, guys, here's the product. I have an idea how we can roll up with this. We need probably to finish up one at the end of this hackathon." And as you probably know, the one we just finished up was the Evals project. That means the evaluation framework. We will show you in a second. And that was really nice that we with a relatively short time, we just design and implement full solution. Of course, we just wait for the results and polish up the paper and so on later. That means after the hackathon, but full core logic was developed during this hackathon. That means previously there was some kind of initial ideas that originally came from Mike, of course. But I'm really proud that we just ship it really fast, and the methodology and all of the stuff which is behind it are really clever, let's say. So I think we can go deeper into the details. I don't know who want to cover the topics. Maybe Piotr, you want to?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna
just an organizational thing. Kevin,
switch
if you want, you can. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Just saw it.
Yeah,
okay.
Great.
Oh, cool.
This is the big great moment. The paper.
Yeah. So Piotr,
Wow.
you can go ahead. You've been assigned by Lech, so.
Okay, so regarding the white paper here, first of all, why, right? Usually, if you like to work with assistants in terms of React Native, you're basically switching between providers, but we wanted to answer the question, which one really is the best one from the perspective of the real developer. So what we did here, we basically prepared a whole benchmark set, whole evaluation set for typical React Native development tasks that real developers face during the work. And we prepared at the initial stage 3 categories: animation, asynchronous state, and navigation, that cover about 14-15 evaluations, so typical developer tasks from each. And they are covering plenty of built-in React Native behavior, plenty of libraries that are commonly used across the market, as well as some specifics that usually are problematic even for developers. And how we prepare the whole benchmark and how that perform. If we can go a little lower to show the benchmark, yeah. So in terms of the models evaluated here, we wanted to verify all leading models from all providers that are currently there. So we are not limited just to OpenAI or Anthropic, but we also wanted to test open weighted LLMs, as well as some smaller providers like Kimi, Minimax, DeepSeek, or Alibaba Square. So with all of those, we decided to utilize Sonnet 4.6 as the judge, because right now, according to the judge benchmark leaderboard, this is the best one that is not influencing the result in any way. But in terms how we approached the LLM as a judge, I will tell that in a moment. Yeah, here. Maybe Artur, we can go to the graphics showing.
Yeah, that may be better.
Yeah, this one. Yeah. So in terms of evaluation, within each category, for each eval, we had the app, and the app is basically the starting point of your work, right? So imagine a situation that you ask your AI assistant to help you performing any kind of a task. You're doing that in the middle of something. So that's also the application that we are asking the AI to modify for us.
Mm-hmm.
Prompt is the task in form of a user query that you usually could go with for your AI assistant. And at this point, AI is preparing the whole discovery stage. It is loading the application directory. It is considering the prompt, and the solver model is utilizing OpenCode's build agent to materialize the output. And we go with generated source code, right? And also the manifest stating how it went, how was the processing successful or not, any errors that we faced, or anything like that. And later, in terms of the evaluation stage, requirements come into play. And requirements are kind of agnostic way to verify if the task was performed properly. It is very similar thing to the success factor of the task that you are assigned during the work, right? But here we wanted to keep it as open as possible, due to the fact that it is generative AI, right? We are working with non-deterministic system that is going to generate us n answers when running it n times. So we try to keep those as clean and as flexible as possible, just to evaluate if the task was done properly, and we didn't exactly stick to one certain way. And also in each eval, we've got a reference directory where you can find the implementation of the task done by humans, so basically React Native developer. And in case of that white paper, we also specify the scoring mechanism, how it is considering all the requirements from all the runs, because in order to solve the issue with generative attitude of those models, right? We wanted to be sure that we are not judging it blindly. We repeated all evaluations 10 times on each of the models, right? So if you calculated it in total right now, we've got 43 evals in 14, 14, and 15. And the thing is that we evaluated 13 models 10 times each. So basically we perform 5,590 experiments in total. And due to all of that, we utilize that LLM as judge in order to make it possible even to materialize scores for that number of benchmarks. And Artur, if you could go to the results and also the
Can I hop in with a small quick question? Mm-hmm. So does things like temperature or the P and K values, mm-hmm. Are they even important anymore, or did you just like test everything on default presets?
We kept here the default values for each model, because usually it is the sweet spot. Okay. And we stick to API defaults according to model cards of each model.
Yeah, okay. It is, Kevin, this is really important because you need to be reproducible. That means if we just will start to, switching all of the sliders there with the temperature or other model parameters, then we will not get such a consistent results. Mm-hmm. That means even so with someone just want to redo our work, which is, I'm encouraging you to do it, but it is of course expensive and time consuming. But if someone just wants to do only one experiment or one evaluation, then he can just trigger it up without thinking, oh, maybe I should change the reasoning parameter and do something with the temperature or something. It should be easy to reevaluate and should be precise, and we should be able to achieve at least similar results, not identical, of course, because it's not deterministic, but similar.
Mm-hmm. And also, we have one question. from Ryan. Regarding the context of the models, what about their knowledge? Do they have access to recent documentation?
And this is something I wanted to chime in with because it's very important to mention our, let's say, idea of how this benchmark should look like. Of course, into the agent, into OpenCode, we could just plug in tools, we could plug in documentation, we could plug in skills. We have agent skills that are designed for React Native, and most likely this would alter the scores of those models. That's for certain. But our goal was not to evaluate how they can use the materials we provide them, at least not at this stage. We wanted to benchmark, pure large language models in this task of React Native development. So unbiased, without any external, let's say, materials, just the defaults that they are equipped with.
Oh, okay. So no like tool calls for documentation.
Yeah, nothing else. There are no skills, or at least not for the solver. There is no access to documentation. Yeah, just purely what was trained.
Raw model.
One remark there, because this is the preliminary result. That means it doesn't mean we cannot do it, because simply we can.
Yes, yes. That's the basic
because here Dennis said that the tests must be as deterministic as possible. And I mainly asked because it just like triggered me that I remembered that it's been quite a long time since I even heard about temperature or other values. So I was just curious if you also were performing tests on the same model with different setups, or just because when I was interested in AI, it was like not too many models, so people were testing those models with all of the different configurations, and I assume that now we have so many models that the best way is just like test the default. So yeah, okay, thank you, and please continue.
Yeah, and also one additional thing, at the moment, most of the tests are not requiring that additional knowledge. I mean, the training data cutoffs that they are usually trained for, and also we take a look at that. Should cover the time that that particular feature was present in internet. So that probably shouldn't be an issue. But Artur, maybe can I ask you for showing the results?
Yes, absolutely. We can skip the boring part and go straight to the.
Oh, it's not boring. It's interesting.
Just joking.
Artur, feel free to cover that.
Okay. Yeah. Great. So finally, after running this for long nights, and here also kudos to Piotrek, who was leading the effort. Let's say. We obtained the results. So these plots that we see here are, maybe I can even zoom in. Are the aggregations of all the results per models and then per categories. So if we take a look at this, we can see, well, this is a weighted average score. So for each of the requirements, for each of the evals, so one eval is a test case, for instance, implement, I don't know, an animated button that does something and interacts, performs X when you interact in the way Y, etc. For this, the judge assigns firstly an outcome, so the result. This is a numerical value. Then the confidence, we also track this. And also, in case this is failed, for our manual inspection, because we also inspected some of the results that were failed. It also outputs an explanation with proof why. So lists what should have been there, what's in the code, and why this requirement wasn't passed. It failed. And then we actually take the weights of these requirements, because in the requirements YAML contracts we pointed out that you can assign weights to those test cases. We multiply this by the score for this, and then we sum it up, divide by the number, we get the weighted average score. So we can see that Opus GPT-4.6 was the one that overall performed the best, followed by GPT-5.4, then GPT-5.3 Codex, Gemini, etc. So you can see it all
Quick
there.
question.
Yes.
And it's all one shot.
It's an agent, so
okay. So they were able to think and process. Okay.
Yes, but no external help. So they couldn't, for instance, fetch the docs. They couldn't. They didn't have skills. Such things not. And one interesting thing I can notice here is, for instance, GPT OSS 20 billion. So this is a 20 billion parameter that's open sourced. You can freely access it. Of course, it's not 84%, but still 64 sounds pretty well, especially for a free model that you can most likely run on your Mac in Olama or any other tool you may like.
Artur, can we run it on our Macs?
I actually tried it. It wasn't, blazingly fast, but it did work well.
Nice.
In Olama is a great tool, in my opinion. It works.
So my favorite is 120B, but you need an infrastructure to run it.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you can also run it. I actually did it, but your computer, your Mac flies away. On a PC with a good GPU from NVIDIA, it's better, but you still can feel the latency. So you will be waiting for a while until you get the a reasonable amount of output.
Honestly, I'm quite surprised that GPT OSS, that's like 6 times bigger, only has like 2% improvement. So it sounds like it would be a much better option to run 6 GPT OSS 20s and let them like figure it out than to run one
economically. Yeah,
it's really a really curious topic, because currently what we are seeing is the exact valuation for the React Native tasks. That means you always have it on your mind. But I'm for example, I really like the architecture which is right now called mix of experts. And you can imagine a situation that you have, for example, 100 of such small models. Each model has specialization in each area, and you are building a huge model which consists only those small models inside, and only if you need a specific knowledge, you're pulling only the guy who is currently necessary to do that job.
For those small models, do LoRa's still can you apply LoRa's?
Yeah, sure. Yes.
Oh, nice. And we have a question from Dennis. Is definition of done of each test equal to requirements in YAML file? For example, what if task was done but
partially?
Partially. Yeah, nice. Partially. How do you evaluate results?
Yes, so this is addressed. So if you take a look, these are requirements YAML, but for one single eval. So we can treat it as a test suite, for instance. And in a test suite, normally you have test cases. And it's exactly the same analogy here. So requirements YAML serves as a suite, and these requirements are the specific test cases. And it's virtually exactly the same in terms of its function. So if, for instance, the model implements the button and it should have interacted, it should have done something if the user interacted with it in a specific way, that's okay. But we also placed some other requirements. They are all, of course, open source, so you can freely browse them, such as don't use a deprecated API named something, because we observed that the models usually do it. Or use this API because this is optimal, the right way to do it. And that's another requirement. So if the model performed something that is actually functional, but it doesn't use the specific APIs that are, the ones they should have used, for instance, from Reanimated or something like this, then they get some score, but not 100%. Okay. And especially this is the place where you can tune the weights. This is something that we will explore later. But if something is, not as important as the other ones, you would just bring down the weight and that's it.
So did your paper also track tasks that models struggled most with?
We did manually even evaluate some of them. We even aggregated, because we were running 10 runs per each model. We were even aggregating the failure explanations from the judge to ensure that, this is not a false positive, or maybe it's a methodological problem. It was not. We were looking at it, and it was another interesting observation was that the failure reasons were consistent. So mostly, so if there was an issue across those 10 runs, the issue was reproducible and was exactly the same root cause from the solver's side.
And this is fascinating results. Maybe I will elaborate a little bit more, like behind the scenes, behind some kind of behind the scenes problems, because we just implement here the solver as a judge. That means the fully non-deterministic approach. Deterministic means we can apply, for example, regular expressions to check if the models used some, I don't know, library required, some kind of definition required. That means deterministic way. And you can build the solver as a judge with a weight and additional regular expression checked all over. But look at the complexity of it. You have an app which is a starting point, which is already complicated, and you need to build something, I don't know, for example, use an animation somewhere. React Native applications are complicated. A lot of layers, a lot of levels, a lot of files, a lot of folders, and so on, a lot of elements inside. So how to deterministically check it out? And during our research, we just discovered when we just tried to build those deterministic parts there, in some way, some evals, it doesn't simply work for the React Native tasks. That's why we resigned for the whole deterministic part and only leave the undeterministic, that means only LLM as a judge approach was applied there. And what we, for example, did, and this is already Artur said, we just checked out and ran experiments even 1,000 times. We just selected only narrow number of evals, because not full benchmark, because it will cost like hundreds of dollars, and we not want to burn our budget, but and run it thousands of times, and then we look on the results and discover that maybe that approach is not good, and then we tune up the methodology, tune it up to find out the best solution, and the best one is presented here. That means we are not like say, okay, maybe this approach will good, let's do a white paper and go and do an experiment. No, we checked out, and also a lot of hard work done by Mike to review all of the evals with the best possible knowledge about the React Native. And additional thing is that we built also the huge project called Analyzer for it, and this is actually Artur mentioned. That we also looked deeply into each results through all of the runs. That means here you have like 10 models, yes, or 11 models, 10 runs, 40 evals. You can do the math, yes, there. That means how deeply we should how deeply we just go through through it. One more thing is that the overall statistics of it. That means, of course, the distribution here is reasonable. That means opposite is the best. Yes, that means evals works. Because intuitively, when, for example, Grok will be the first, then we will started to think maybe we will do some kind of bad job there, or something is missing out, or something is not working. That you probably know how happy we was after we just realized that this methodology works. And we have reasonable results, and we did like a statistics on it. That means we are just quite sure that this approach is really good, and that's why we just decided to publish it and to release it and give it to the community.
Grok would be great if you would be generating deepfakes.
Oh yeah, or generating bad words.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
and
maybe
I'm kind of curious. I noticed that Claude wasn't actually the best in all of the types of tasks.
Yes, that's correct. So if we take a look at the categories, then we would see that, for instance, Claude was likely one of the best in navigation, but it's all are significantly actually worse in animations, which was the hardest category. But they differ for their score differs for the categories. So, for instance, the GPT OSS 120 billion parameters was especially good in navigation. In animation, it was not. It was 50% compared to almost 80 in Claude Opus 4.6. Yeah, so maybe this can even help you if you're building something and you're wondering which model to tick, in your agent's UI. Then this is something that you can actually practically use, right? You can select the model that performs best for the category. Yeah, that's also something to think about. So yeah, maybe for the rest of the results, Lech, would you like to take over?
So yeah, I think you can just show the bigger picture at the end of.
Yeah, we can go to the appendix.
Yes, from the appendix. That means yeah.
Yeah, I actually messed it up, but I will be on track soon.
No worries. Oh yeah,
No
for
worries.
example that one. And here you have like a whole of the visualized results. That means all evals on the left side. We have score per eval, requirements, pass rate, and green points. You can just simply say which was done, which was not. That means that was really very for us to evaluate all of the process. But I just only want to I think mention one more thing. With this approach, it is actually general one. Of course, you can build more evals to our own libraries, and we definitely will do it. We can also get some help from a community if you just want to participate in that. And definitely we can use that methodology for other purposes. That means we just open it for you. That means we just test it out. Look at the logic which is behind it, and you can discover maybe something else with this. No one can say not, but here it is. I think the results are really great, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, maybe one more plot that I would like to show everyone. So this is something that we actually observed in other benchmarks that is sometimes applied. So pass at K. So this is a metric that actually I would interpret as something like stability in the sense of this benchmark. So what these values here show actually is the probability that it within the K samples of the runs in this benchmark, all of them are passed. So for instance, pass at 1 means that in animation you have 42 maybe percent probability that if you pick one of the samples of the runs, it's passed. Pass at 5 means that you have a probability of this value that if you pick 5 of the runs, of the attempts, as you can interpret it, and all of them are passed. So the higher the value for smaller ones means that you get especially good results without multiple attempts. So this is
so interesting.
Yep.
I'm really struggling to focus because I keep thinking about so many other things that would be so cool to test. Like for instance, to flip it a little bit around and test, make those models work until they get done everything as you need it, and then check what was the most expensive thing. Because what you tested tests that's so cool. We have one comment. It's a big and great job, guys. One small question regarding speed of each specific AI. Is speed of passing tests the same for each specific AI? For example, test 1 ends in 5 seconds, but test 2 ends in 10 seconds. So did you also measure not only the amount of tokens and cost, but did you also measure the speed?
Yeah, within the manifest, after each experiment, we've got information when exactly the test began and when it finished. Yeah, you can see started at, finished at, all the information here. So, so basically speaking, you are able to verify all of that. But from running all of those experiments, and by the way, Dennis, thank you very much for that question. It's a good one. We haven't encountered a situation that one eval was done in a like order of magnitude different time than the other one, but we noticed that different models performed very differently. So it all depends from the performance of the model, from the reasoning capabilities of the model, number of reasoning turns that the model did during the evaluation. So some of the models were literally just one-shotting the answer, right? And some of the models were doing like 5 to 10 reasoning turns before answering as the modified application, right? So between the evaluations themselves, not really. Between the models, huge difference. And by the way, for almost real-time agentic coding, for pleasant agentic coding, you need at least 70 tokens per second, and usually like 100 is a sweet spot.
Yep.
That's so fun. God damn it.
And
Like-
maybe there's actually, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's the last plot that we didn't show. So this one actually shows you another insight. So from all the runs, these, let's say, fibers or whatever, however you would call it, will represent the number of specific evals eval runs that you produce, and here you have the displayed within categories, and then you have you have a detailed breakdown of the results of those runs within those categories. So you can see for each of the models in the appendix, because it's per model. This one is for Opus 4.6, for instance. What share of those eval cases within the runs failed and what share has passed. So this is also a nice visualization if you want to take a look at it.
I see that you all of you went like super heavy with visualizations, and that's great, because it actually one thing that I wish that one day I will see somewhere is 3D visualizations. So like presenting not just the 2D but also the third dimension.
But what do you say to look at this from Apple Vision or maybe Meta glasses or something?
Yeah. To this paper we included the AR statistics.
Oh, maybe good idea for another app.
So you can dive deep into our research.
Yeah. And maybe since we have a month for that, I would do some advertising. So since it's open source, if you want to contribute, you are maintaining or helping to contribute to a library and would like to see it compared, then absolutely please give it a try and contribute your cases you would like to evaluate there. We would be very happy to accept such contributions.
Yeah. Because we want to extend, we want to extend the number of evals, the number of libraries tested, and so on.
Let's turn that into crowd evaluations. Like you have crowdfunding, now you can have crowd evaluations. So instead of diversifying where the money comes from, let's diversify the test case gathering, the test case executions. Yeah, that sounds.
One more thing, maybe we can show a web page.
Yeah.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Wait,
if you could show my screen.
Okay, 1 second. Ryan asks, where can we find the paper? So
That's
first,
the perfect opportunity too. So here, as you can see, we've got a public repository within a Callstack incubator. So you can go there, and you've got all the evals for each category, with all the prompts, requirements, which you can analyze by yourself. But also you've got here a paper, and you've got here a LaTeX and PDF version of the document that we presented to you. So feel free to browse it in your free time. And also we've got a website that is visualizing the results from the perspective of each model, right? All the categories here, as you can see. But also you can see that in the form of a table, where you've got the overall score, navigation, animation, sync state, tokens used, and also you can click into the specific category, click on the model, and you can click on the certain evaluation to verify how that evaluation performed across the models. So it is quite informative and easy to browse place for all the results.
please tell me that, because like I got on a hype train with your and also. Please tell me that this page is also MCP compatible.
Not yet.
Not
Okay.
yet.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I got too excited.
Yeah, but we are just also developing it. That means in a tomorrow or in the 2 days we will release the update of it with the pricing. That means because we are just calculate all the prices, and the people just ask, okay, but what about prices? What about how much it costs to do it? And we will publish it in a second, actually, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll put a column here next to the tokens used with the information how much it costs, right? And also from the perspective of like maybe next steps. Right now we released 3 categories here, but we've got 4 upcoming in quite near future. So we'll be updating that website and adding more and more.
Oh my God!
A funny story. Your love-hate relationship is also there.
Yeah. That's what that would be so amazing if you could like release information which model is greatest at upgrading Expo. To be like before sorry, you are too late for Expo 55, but you are just in time for Expo 56.
Yeah,
and
one funny story, because we just released it. Actually, Mike released it with Piotr on the meetup, Codex meetup in Wrocław, like a week ago. So, and at the same time, in the same day, just OpenAI just released the GPT 5.4. And we was like, oh my God, it's already outdated. We need to recalculate everything because we don't have 5.4. And then the next day and next night, Piotr did the benchmark again against the newest GPT, and the results are there. But we was, oh my God, how it's even possible that we're already outdated at the date of the premiere of the release.
Yeah. That's the AI world for you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But that's amazing, guys. That's an amazing job. That's the most like scientifically advanced thing I've seen in Callstack since I started working. It's amazing. I'm so proud that you released the paper and you made it open source. It's something I like. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's super cool to see it's super interesting as well. And I think that even, people who are not that big into AI like to see these types of tests and these types of data-driven research, because it might impact so many people in their decision making, which model to use, should they maybe host locally something and stuff like that. Great job, really amazing job.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
thank you very much. And at this point, one thing is that all of you can just test your models, set up open code connected to your provider, your model, local API, anything you want, and take a look how well it performs. And the second thing at this point I would like to mention, if we take a look at the contributors, it was a huge amount of work because all of the evaluations were fully manually created, verified, implemented. And that's a huge work of all people involved into the project, all people who helped us make that idea come true, and huge kudos to all of you.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and that's actually something we probably didn't emphasize, but it's, as Piotr said, very important that these tests have a value that was designed and evaluated by humans who are preparing this. So this is done by specialists. That's not vibe coded or anything.
So proper craft code.
Yeah.
Nice.
Human certificate.
Yeah.
And again, if you want to become part of this experiment, have a library, know a library, please just contribute. We will take a look at the PR.
Awesome. Amazing. And also with that, since we are at a little bit of advertisement section, let me quickly steal the screen, because I said I will come back to that. If you are interested in AI in general, we as a Callstack, we will also have our fresh new conference called Agent Conf. You can find it at agent.sh. It's like a shell script, agent.shell, agent.sh. Does it work with agent.sh? No, sorry, it will not. Agent.sh. It will be an amazing conference. So it's basically, I would say, AI for developers. We already have quite a nice setup of amazing people who will be, I won't say performing, presenting on the conference. It happens this year. And honestly, it's one of the best looking pages I've seen for a conference, which is also quite hype. And yeah, check out the page, check out the conference if that's something you're interested in. And with that, I think, guys, would you like to add anything more?
Oh,
that's it from me.
No, that's it.
So with that, we will be slowly coming to the finish of the stream. It was a very exciting one. I would love to have like every one of you guys, or one of you, or in any configuration in the future for streams as well, because Łukasz is limiting me with my AI talk, and it's so fun to be able to talk with people who are also excited about AI. And you have so much knowledge. I feel like I could just question you for 8 or 12 more hours. So it was a lot of fun for me. I saw in the comments that people were also very focused and interested. There was not so many trolls and jokes around. So thank you so much for everything you presented, for everything you did, actually, because as you mentioned, it's all open source. So everyone can go read the paper, everyone can go check out the data by themselves, bring your own conclusions as well. You can find all of these guys on Twitter as well. Yeah, just you can. Oh yeah, Dennis already started reading the PDF. So there will be hopefully quite a bunch more read-throughs. I will try to read it, although I know that reading through white paper is a specific skill I didn't yet gain, unfortunately. Maybe one day I'll be able to read white papers. But with that, Ryan, no need to remind me this time, because I remember to put on the outro music, which was the, god damn it, this one. Yes, nailed it. Lech, Piotr, Artur, thank you so much for participating in the stream today. I hope you weren't stressed. I hope you felt like it's a safe space to talk about AI, to be excited about the technology we work with. Ryan says that's really valuable for the community, and I do agree. Also, thanks all of the commenting people, of course. It was a blast. It was just a blast. I don't even know how to like wrap it up and finish it up, because I would love to just spend 5 more hours talking to you guys. It was so much fun. So yeah, not to make it any longer, let's just say bye-bye. I'm gonna hide everyone and finish up the stream. So it's time for you to say your bye-byes.
Thanks, it was a pleasure. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Lech, would you? I didn't hear you say bye-bye.
Oh, bye.
I'm joking. Okay, so thank you, Lech, and see you in a week. Bye-bye.